Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Jason. I'm your watch guy today. Now, if you've paid attention to the community posts lately, you'll see that I released a poll yesterday. And I asked if I should investigate these Benyars a little bit more by cutting one in half. Yeah. Now, these caused a little bit of controversy. They were super cheap. They stated to be stainless steel, but there was a little bit of dishonesty or suspected dishonesty in the posts or the listings. So a lot of reviewers, very entitled to do so, gave these a hard time. Now, I see where these fit in the market. They're ultra cheap and they look like a good homage. Cheap movement, cheap materials, but they look the part. So today I'm going to review this Benyar Explorer Homage. I do have another Benyar, and it is the Milgauss Homage. You will see both of those watches in this video today, but you're probably going to want to stick around to the end. Now, if you wanted to pick either of these up because they're ultra cheap and they just look the part, then I have my affiliate links in the description, but be warned, they are not what they seem. Let's turn this camera around and get into this review so I can explain a little bit more. So guys, this is the Benyar BY5177M. Now this is a homage to the Rolex Explorer, as you can pretty clearly see. We don't owe any of the styling to Benyar. As you're probably aware, these are a sister brand to Pagani Design and also homage famous watches. So this one can be picked up on AliExpress at the moment for £32, as can the Milgauss Homage that I featured in the unboxing. I will not be reviewing the Milgauss Homage. They're exactly the same watch, just a different dial and handset, so pick which one you want and go with it. So, let's talk about the movement in this one. It's an ultra cheap Chinese automatic movement. It's actually quite decorative. I've done a little bit of research, and it seems to be a Hong Tai G2666Z movement. Now, after looking into it a little bit, its stated accuracy is plus to minus 45 seconds per day. And that sounds bad, but for £32, I don't think it's that bad, to be honest. It is a hand-winding movement. It's actually quite grindy. So yeah, it's loud, it's not hacking, but it is automatic and it is self-winding, so I guess they're bonuses. So let's talk about the dimensions of this watch. It is 41mm in diameter here to here. Thick, it is 14.1mm, so it is a little bit chunky off wrist. Lug to lug, it's 50mm, and these lugs are, strangely enough, 21mm. I absolutely detest people who put 21mm, 19mm lugs on anything. Like, it's not called for. Like, just go to the standard so we can all use the straps that we have. Also, something to mention, this case size, it's really chunky, isn't it? I don't know if that's to do with movement. Well, in fact, I don't think it is due to the movement, because there's quite a bit of space inside that casing. I think they could have made it a bit slimmer, a bit more streamlined, and probably better. Now, it is built in the very rare material that is stainless steel. Yes, I'm not talking about stainless steel, I'm talking about saneless steel. I'll just get you a little shot of the back of this case. Now, this has been a joke that has been, just up here, solid stainless steel. This has been a joke that's been circulating YouTube, well, watch YouTube for a little bit. Everyone who's reviewed has harped back to this, and I will be no different. So, basically, this is a chrome-plated case. It is stated as being stainless steel in the listing, and that is a lie. It is definitely chrome-plated, and if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll chop one in half to prove it. I'm not joking, I will chop one in half. But, getting back to this now. The full casing is a polished effect throughout. It is fingerprint magnet to hell. It is, yeah, you are going to get a lot of fingerprints on this one, but that's kind of what you expect with a polished finish. It is a fixed bezel, and it's this obviously generic Rolex Explorer style case, completing that type of look. As we move to the back, it is a screw down case back. It is a display screw down case back, and as I said in the intro, it's actually quite a decorative movement in the back of that. It is an ultra cheap automatic movement, and it doesn't keep the best timing. Well, it doesn't have the best stated timing. I have always found with Chinese watches and Chinese movements that the stated accuracy is always really bad, but in reality, they actually don't do that badly. Now, as we swap back around to the front, this is not a screw down crown, but it'll also point out that this movement isn't a date movement. So that's a nice, I'd say, feature, but it's not a feature really. It's just something that they've done correctly. They picked the right movement for it. No ghost date function on it. It is not a signed crown, but it does have some low levels of grip. It's easy to get hold of. Well, easy enough to get hold of. This is a flat piece of, well, they state that it's a ROLEX crystal. Personally, I don't think it's going to be any different to a standard mineral crystal. ROLEX is what they use in Seiko prospect divers, etc. I think this is probably just going to be mineral crystal. This casing provides the watch with 50 meters of water resistance, which for this type of price and this style of watch, pretty acceptable to be fair. Obviously, no screw down crown, so water will get into it, and I doubt there's very secure gaskets in here. The dial takes inspiration from the Explorer, and by inspiration I mean it's ripped off the Explorer. Although it does come with a more glossy type of finish to it, and it does give a sort of cheap type of effect when it catches the light. Not something that I'm a fan of. Also, the dial sits very deep inside the casing. So yeah, a few things that they could have changed. Definitely bring the dial closer to the actual crystal. The indices are actually applied, which is a bonus, I guess. The only way I've found out about those indices is knocking one off. You'll see that later. Up at the 12 o'clock, we have a triangular index for the hour marker. Over at the 3, 6 and 9 o'clock markers, we have large numerals to mark the hours. I'm a big fan of large numerals on a dial. Especially in this type of fashion. I think it's very nice. It's a very nice effect, very nice aesthetic design. Throughout the rest of the indices, we have batons, simple batons. We do have a stainless steel border around them and a lume fill in the center. Up at the 12 o'clock, we have the Benyar logo that is printed to the dial. Above the 6 o'clock marker, we have automatic water resistant 15 meters or 165 foot. Around the edge of the dial, we have a printed minute track. Now, the handset is a classic Mercedes style handset. Stainless steel border, a lollipop second hand, and yeah, it is also loomed. It's not great though. In fact, I'm not going to do a full loom shot. I'm just going to turn the lights off and show you how it's looking right now. So the loom is probably better than you expected in a £30 watch. Now, it will fade rather quickly, and it's not exactly applied very evenly. My camera is doing a lot of work for this loom at the minute because in actual person, it's dull as hell, which isn't great. But for £32, it's not exactly the worst in the world. It's better than I expected for £32, to be honest. Now, as we move away from this case and we move to the stainless steel bracelet, and it is actually a stainless steel bracelet. It's not the best in the world. It does pull our hairs. It's an oyster style bracelet, fully brushed, hollow end links. There are no micro adjusts on the clasp, however, it is signed. It is a simple pressed clasp, super budget, super cheap, but yeah, it is what it is at £32. It's not bad. These are push pins, also split pins even. Before I get to the section that we all want to see, before I cut one of these beautifully designed watches in half, let me talk to you about the moans. There are plenty. It is a cheap watch. It's chrome plated and they lied in the listing. The loom isn't the best in the world. I'm not the biggest fan of a brushed bracelet with a polished case. Maybe go with a Centerlink, it just breaks it up a little bit. The misspelt stainless on the back, that's incredibly ridiculous. However, this is available in multiple dial colours. It is super, super cheap. You could wear this for a couple of months and then bin it and get something else that floats your boat, I guess. So yeah, I guess at this point it is what it is. If you wanted to pick one up, affiliate link in the description. However, do be warned, it is a cheap watch. It is a very cheap watch. So while I was in work today, I picked myself up a grinder and I took to this little fella's Milgauss brother. So let me cut to the scene of that. So I'm actually in work at the minute, so excuse the mask, but it's the only access that I had to a grinder. So let's find out if this Benyar watch, I'm going to do it to the Milgauss one because I've already got another Milgauss. Let's see if it's actually stainless steel. I'm actually rather impressed that it's still ticking, like, still ticking away. Gotta say, getting hit in the face by sapphire crystal is not nice. So back to the studio. So here we are. I wasn't lying. I chopped the thing in half. Here's the bezel. So as you can see from the inside, let me try and get you see here, like that to me is complete proof that it's chrome plated. You wouldn't have that if it was machined. I actually had a lot of fun destroying this. Probably shouldn't have, being like, you know, a watch person, but I did. The movement, though, got to give it some credit. You know, it was alright. The actual dial itself, shockingly enough, looks like it's metal, which surprised me. I thought it would just be some plastic piece of crap. Yeah, so let's move on to this here. You see the way that the metal is on the inside, the way that's like really shiny, really reflective. That's not what metal, well, what stainless steel would look like. Not like with these like curves and waves in the metal itself. That's not how a machined piece of metal would come out. You see how it is in the bracelet here. Like, you don't have any of that curvature. You don't have any of that like waveform. So that's, to me, says that this is probably a really cheap metal, and we've got some chrome plating on. You can see where it kind of goes from the chrome to the actual metal. Yeah, definitely a chrome plated watch. The one upside is that if you do scratch it or get a really deep scratch on it, it won't look like it's bronze underneath. And that is literally the only thing that I can leave you with from that. But I had fun. I hope you guys did too. So, yeah, it was actually kind of fun filming in work. You know, a useful way to use me lunch break, I guess. Now, the real question is, what do I do with this one? I'm not going to keep it. It's not going in my collection. In fact, I am probably going to pick up another Explorer homage. I'm going to go with a Fleda this time, probably. But what do I do with this one? Well, actually, I have an idea. So, guys, one of the questions that was posed to me when I posted that poll was, why? Well, a little bit of scientific intrigue, I guess. I wanted to see what was inside these Benyars. I wanted to see if they scratched, would they still look like they're steel? And I also had a little bit of resentment to them because, well, they lied. So why not destroy one of their pieces on the channel? It's only fair, surely. Now, if you want to see me do more things like this, and maybe a few other videos where I destroy something, then leave a few comments. Tell me what you think of this one and tell me what you would like to see me destroy next. Obviously something reasonable. I'm not going to take a hammer to one of my tags, so, you know, that's out of the question. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope it's been slightly educational, and I will see you in the next one.